Edit it.
Okay.
Hi everyone. My name is Kayla Ramsey.
My name is Maddy Doyle, and today we are going to talk to you guys about AP style and numbers that are in AP style and the correct way to go about that and the correct way to put it in your papers or when writing any numbers out.
So there's lots of different variations. So we're going to go over the most common, what we thought was the most important with using numbers in different forms. Okay, so should we start?
Yeah. So for the basics, you're always going to spell out numbers 1 through 9. So instead of actually writing the number 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth, you're actually going to spell it out O-N-E and so on and so forth. So that is that one. But then you're going to use figures. You're going to use figures when you're talking about numbers greater than 10.
For example, okay, the Cleveland Browns finished 4th. You would say that. You would spell it out 4th because they finished 4th. You wouldn't write the number 4 and then a TH. You would spell out 4th. Okay? For addresses, you use figures. For example, you would write the numeral 94 for 94 North Congress Street. Another example is...
if you were talking about 32nd Street, you would write a 3 and a 2, and you would never spell it out as 32nd.
Like Thirty.
Exactly.
You would not do that.
Exactly.
Okay. So you also use figures for academic course numbers. For example, Journalism 2311, you do Journalism 2311. Or Journalism 3700, you would do Journalism 3700.
And then when it comes to talking about airplanes or spacecrafts, you are always going to write the number. So if it is Queen Elizabeth II, that is a ship, you're going to write Queen Elizabeth and the number 2. You wouldn't spell out 2, TWO.
Exactly. Same with Apollo 8. You would just write Apollo, then the numeral variation for 8. So you would not spell out 8 in word form. Or a B-2 bomber plane, you would write B-2 bomber. So, yes.
Okay, and then when you're talking about decimals, this can get a little tricky, but when you're talking about decimals, they should not exceed more than 2 places. So, for example, if you're writing a paper that is AP style, you're going to write 0.12 and say it was like 0.126, then that 2 would become a 3. So you're always going to round and only put 2 decimal places after.
Another example, do not use hyphens in most cases when you're writing words. So, for example, an exception is to spell out the numbers for planes, ships. Air Force One is an example. You would not do Air Force numeral 1. You would spell out Air Force O-N-E because that's a specific name of the presidential plane. So yeah, you would not use hyphens for that, saying Air Force One. It is just all spelled out Air Force One, completely spelled out like that.
And then another thing with decimals is when you're writing decimals larger than 1, you're always going to write it out in numerical order. It's not going to be ever spelled out.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.